American Commando is a retro shooter being developed and published by Iron Wolf Studios. The game is basically what it says on the tin. You are an American Commando in an alternative history World War II who is deployed into enemy lines to fight the Axis. This game seems to be a random compilation of ingredients that the dev is attempting to form together into something. The game starts off with a rail shooter sequence that has very poor hit detection. Seems like any time I hit, it was simply random. Now, you only do this 3 times in the demo, and elsewhere I didn't have problems, so let's let that rest for now. The demo is the first level and a bonus stage, so hey, give the dev credit for having a fair slice of the pie to judge from. I'm confused exactly on what the dev is aiming for with the gameplay. Visually and tone-wise, I think he's attempting more of a shitpost return to Castle Wolfenstein. I mean, we even start the game out proper with only a knife. However, unlike Wolfenstein 3D or Return to Castle Wolfenstein, the stealth is broken. There's occasionally this soundbar that appears, but if you can see the enemy, they can see you.
Alarm!
So instead of a backstab to acquire the Luger, you end up charging against the gun. Only problem is, you don't get the weapon off the German. No. Instead you need to run down the first ramp and grab a Luger off some boxes. If you move down the ship, you'll only get ammo and usually get spotted. Now this is strange, as you'd assume you'd simply get your weapon off the guard. They do have MP40s, instead of a hard-to-see spot on a random box. It just doesn't make sense to put it there, while also having the stealth be as broken as it is. One thing I gotta give this game the 1 point is that a little off to the right of that Luger is a Wunderwaffe. And the enemies in this game, well, they react just like the enemies in Red Faction. So yeah, that's a plus in my book. Red Faction, brother and sisters. Red Faction. Speaking of reacting, the enemies have no sense of being shot. There's some nice death animations, but when in a shootout it feels largely like you're both just mag dumping each other, and whoever has the higher health pool wins out. Headshots are vital in this regard, as for the most part, at least with the Kar 98K, their heads will pop. Though in the game it's called a 90K for some reason. What I can't deal with is that while some enemies react to gunshots and come running, others will stay hidden and only shoot once the player has crossed their path. Combined with wonky damage indicators that constantly point in the wrong direction, you have a serious problem. The enemies are hard enough to see as is. Have them purposely hiding? You most likely will not see them. And they will not fire until you walk past them, as in like right next to them. Because I cleared out whole areas, doubled back looking for health and supplies, only to get camped in the back of the head. The gameplay isn't fun because of this problem. In addition to hiding enemies, the game has a problem guiding the player's eyes to the point that when needing a key, the game just pops up text telling the player to grab it. In addition to all this, there is a brief vehicle sequence that doesn't feel good. There's no momentum or way to speed up. You're incredibly slow. Going through random obstacle course only puts us on clear display. Now, at its best, the game can, for the slimmest moment, capture the sense of classic Medal of Honor or Return to Castle Wolfenstein. However, the moment-to-moment gameplay, it just doesn't work. Honestly, the most fun part was the shitpost alien abduction bonus area that had a bunch of zombies. That is, until you're required to blow up a crystal with dynamite. So you have it set up, and then nothing. Now earlier, you used explosive barrels to destroy some U-boats. So I, using what I've learned, shot the dynamite. Nothing. After searching, it turns out there's a lever that is no way signaled to the player. Also, it's never mentioned as far as I can tell. It's dark, low res, and put against a backdrop of muddy colors. Now, the game could be something better, but then you start to realize something. This is a shitpost with no balls. When you enter the docking room, do you see something? Tons of iron crosses, but not one swastika. You clearly painted the room with iron crosses in a way that is parody, and you want us to see it. Well, why no swastika? It's World War II, it fits the setting. Well, upon looking over the Steam page again, I found this. Quote, American Commando is a fusion of Duke's humor, Wolfenstein's weird war aesthetics, and insane blitzkrieg-style gameplay. Well, the game's fast, I'll give you that. You definitely run like a Quake character. And that's all nice, until you scroll down and see that the game comes with a disclaimer. Quote, American Commando is a humorous FPS retro game. In this project, players will not see a realistic violence or drastic World War II scenes like Nazi work camps, executions, experiments on people, or getting advantage of the minorities. We are not using swastikas, SS, or any of the Nazi propaganda symbols. Unquote. You say that you have Duke's humor and that this is a humorous retro game, but draw the line at the use of a swastika while in a World War II setting inspired by Wolfenstein? Does experiments on people include the typical Wolfenstein enemy of humans experimented on by Nazis, making them strange creatures of science or the occult? I then discovered that this game had a name change. It used to be called Nazi Busters, which is a great name. However, a statement was issued, quote, to be honest, we love the previous title, but we had trouble with promoting a game with the word Nazi in the title, so we've come up with something safe, like American Commando, unquote. Safe. Your game is a shitpost that strives to be a comedy on par with Duke Nukem, but you're afraid of showing a fucking swastika. That to me is not the right choice. If you're going to run around acting like your game has its balls out, then have the balls out. Instead, you decide to run and hide from anything that could be deemed offensive. You can fix a game's mechanical problem, but you can't fix a developer's lack of daring. Supposedly, this game isn't dead, but it isn't moving anywhere, so yeah. Maybe this will serve more as a lesson than anything else. If basic stuff of the setting is such a problem, then a different setting would have benefited you more. Also, there's no dual wielding of MG42s.